There's so much information out there about the connection between minerals and your health. It's hard to know what's right. It's time to cut through the noise and uncover the truth about magnesium and calcium. In this video, I share the best natural sources, how to spot a deficiency, and the right way to supplement if needed. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Gayla Gorman, a licensed acupuncturist, naturopath, and author of What's Your Kryptonite? On this channel, I'm here to help you reverse the effects of chronic stress so that you can cruise through midlife and beyond symptom-free, so that you can put an end to common midlife symptoms like chronic fatigue, insomnia, mood swings, issues with gut health, and even weight gain. So let's get started and just cover how magnesium and calcium actually works in the human body. To start with, magnesium triggers 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. In essence, magnesium is at the root of how our body actually creates energy. And then calcium is an important component in those raw building blocks that actually contributes to our body's ability to signal the cells. You can see that to create energy, our body needs cellular signaling, and this calcium and magnesium combination are critical to make that happen. It's also really important to know that magnesium and calcium are really important for nervous system regulation. I guess that makes sense when you think about the energy production and cellular signaling, because it's our entire body essentially runs off of this nervous system. The nervous system essentially is our body's way of signaling the pathways in the body that actually send the signals to every corner of our body's systems and components. So if calcium and magnesium are so important, what are the best food and natural sources of these two really important minerals? Well, both of these minerals can be found with really high nutrient density in leafy greens, dark leafy greens. So think things like kale and spinach and that sort of thing. So anytime you can incorporate those things into your diet, it's a great way to get those minerals naturally, because your body will take what it needs and discard the rest easily. Our system is designed to be able to assimilate food, so always best to get it in that form. You may see that some will recommend dairy for these minerals, and I really recommend that you stay away from dairy. It's actually the first thing we avoid in what I refer to as the Fierce Five in my 7 ways and 5 plays of the Human Energy System reboot. Dairy is just really problematic for the immune system for many people, and there's a lot to that story, but just know that dairy is probably the last place you want to be turning to get calcium and magnesium quota met. The other thing to note is that nuts and seeds help with absorption, and so adding in nuts and seeds to your diet can be really helpful just to trigger your digestive system. They add good fiber and that sort of thing, so that can be extremely helpful as well. How do you know if you're deficient in calcium and magnesium? Well, the first thing that I typically notice whenever I am becoming deficient in magnesium in particular is that I'll get muscle cramps in the night. And so if you find that's happening and you're waking up in the middle of the night with muscle cramps, you can even take magnesium right in the middle of the night. And I find that within about a half an hour of taking that magnesium, all of those symptoms will subside, and I'll be really even just soothed back into restored sound sleep. So I always keep magnesium near the bed just in case that happens at night. We're going to talk a little bit more about why I don't suggest that you supplement long term, but just know that it's important to have magnesium handy if you reach a point where it's really obviously called for. Another sign of magnesium and calcium deficiency is fatigue. So if you just find that you're feeling really fatigued and just not able to kind of get out of it, it could be due to the fact that you're not sleeping really soundly. And if that is the case, then certainly that needs to be addressed, and it may go beyond just a calcium and magnesium deficiency. But you may find that just upping your minerals overall comprehensively will help with fatigue. You may also find that you're getting heart palpitations. If you feel like your heart's racing and there's no lion chasing you, then you may also find that is pointing to a deficiency. But relying on supplements might seem like the answer. It's not always the best solution, though. Long-term use can cause toxicity, creating internal stress, and your body may just adjust in ways that aren't beneficial. This is an example of one of the countless ways stress creates symptoms and other health issues, especially during midlife. I created a video that shows you how to eliminate these symptoms naturally, so I'll make sure to link to it below this video, but make sure you hit subscribe too, because I share a lot of tips when it comes to dealing with stress that's become toxic. Relieving the nasty symptoms stress creates makes cruising through midlife a breeze. I've promised that we're going to talk about supplementing with magnesium and calcium and the benefits and the drawbacks. So the best type of magnesium I've found to supplement with is ionic magnesium. And so just to give you a couple of ideas here, I use this sometimes as a liquid magnesium supplement. Honestly, doesn't taste that great, but it works really well. This is another really easy to get your hands on magnesium supplement that you can find at just about any store. And this is a powder form of magnesium if you haven't used it before. You mix it into warm water and it kind of looks like Alka-Seltzer. And the reason why this works so well is because it just absorbs really quickly in your digestive system. If you aren't comfortable keeping like just capsule magnesium next to the bed and you wake up and really have a problem, sometimes I'll even just take a tablespoon of this magnesium and put it in some warm water, and just between the warm water and the effects of the minerals, I find that I could just get myself soothed right back into sleep. And so for many of us, as we have moved into midlife, sleep issues, potentially all the way to insomnia, are definitely a concern. And so you've got to make sure that you've got your hacks lined up, and you don't want to rely on these hacks all the time. But if you hit that point and there could be some kind of energetic disturbance in your environment that disturbs your sleep, you may have eaten too late, or there's endless list of things that might be disturbing your sleep, including what we referred to just a moment ago, which was the muscle cramps. So having magnesium handy is really helpful. And then the best type of calcium, this is interesting because calcium helps your body to balance pH. There are lots of forms of calcium. This is calcium hydroxide and this is calcium lactate. But the best calcium, if you're kind of not sure which problem you have, is to use calcium gluconate, because it works with either type of problem, whether you're too acidic or too alkaline. And so it's just important to know that if you're going to supplement with magnesium and calcium, the ratio is important. And that's why it's really just my very first suggestion not to supplement long term. You'd much rather get these things from your diet and then only supplement when you've really got a clear deficiency. That's why I talk so much about the signs of a deficiency. So what are some of the cautions if you're considering supplementing with magnesium and calcium? Well, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I never recommend supplementing long term. Anytime you supplement long term, all you're really doing is creating a weakened body, weakened internal systems. You want your body to be trained to get these supplements from the raw building blocks in your diet and the way it was designed to create this energy essentially naturally. There's also a possibility that these supplements could interact with medication. That's true of just about any type of supplementation. Again, best to talk to your prescribing physician if you think that might be a problem. Really best to avoid medications if you can, but if you've got some situation that medication is just the only way you've been able to address it, then know that you may be able to offset some of the effects of medication, but it might also create other issues. So just really important. It's a balancing act if you have determined that you need to supplement or medicate a problem. So the last thing I will say is that you want to make sure you're getting really high quality supplements, because if you don't know that the source is really high quality, it's possible that you think you're getting calcium and magnesium, and that's not even really what you're getting. So just really don't fall prey to the really low cost, low quality supplements. Even if you are buying things from Amazon, if you're not getting that supplement from either a really high quality store or the actual manufacturer store on Amazon, there's a great risk that it is a knockoff and not even authentic. So super important to know that, and honestly, you would not think it, and just know that it definitely is a problem. And if your best efforts to live a healthy lifestyle and do all the things you've been led to think are supposed to work aren't getting the job done, you may even be feeling like you take 2 steps forward and 3 back. In my next video, I'll show you how to manage the toxic stress that's sabotaging your efforts. You can eliminate the symptoms that seem to be piling up in midlife naturally without medications, crazy diets, intense exercise, or any other unsustainable lifestyle hack.